Has this ever happened to you? You're in the middle of a video shoot, a live stream, or a time lapse, and suddenly you get this. So you take the camera off the tripod, change the battery, that is, if you have a spare battery that's charged and ready to go. In this video, I'll show you a simple, inexpensive solution that will power your camera for hours at a time without interrupting your workflow. And you can take those spare batteries and throw them in a drawer. Let's get started. I'm Ison Phillips, and on this channel I do tech reviews of audio, video, and still photography. So if that's something you're into, click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to click on the bell notifications so you won't miss future videos. Since today's mirrorless cameras are smaller and lighter, they also have smaller and lighter batteries that tend to die quickly, forcing you to have spare batteries handy when you're shooting for an extended period of time, especially when you're shooting video. I've been knowing about dummy batteries, or DC couplers as they're technically known, for a long time now, but I always figured they were just a little too expensive or maybe not reliable for my camera. But recently I decided to look into purchasing one to use with my Canon M50. Canon's version of the dummy battery or DC coupler was a bit too expensive for me. It was $80 for the DC coupler and for the AC adapter. And I imagine that would be about the same for most major camera manufacturers. That's when I decided to look into aftermarket brands. So I did a little research to try and find a reliable and affordable alternative for my Canon M50. And that's when I came across this Raceup DC cable drive. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This one came highly recommended by other YouTubers who found it to be reliable and safe. And that was very important to me because I've heard horror stories about other users who used different cables that fried their cameras. And I've also heard stories that certain cables introduce noise into their audio. I've been using this Raceup DC cable drive with the dummy battery for over a week now, and I haven't had any issues at all. And it's a great feeling to know that you can record for as long as you want without having to worry about battery life or having to change batteries. You can purchase this Raceup DC cable drive in two ways on Amazon. For $21.99, you get the dummy battery and a USB cable. For $23.99, you get the same dummy battery and USB cable, but you also get an AC wall adapter. I decided just to get the USB cable version so I could plug it into my power bank instead of having to worry about plugging it into the wall. If you need a wall adapter, you probably have one of those at home anyway. Also, the cable is only 3 feet long, so if you needed to use it with a wall adapter, you're probably going to need an extension cord. Setting up the cable and dummy battery on the Canon M50 is easy, and it works pretty much the same for all makes of cameras. The dummy battery, which is the same size as the regular battery and has the same type of electrical contacts, goes into the battery compartment. Close the battery door and then swing open the little rubber flap on top of the door and connect the cable to the dummy battery. I use a small piece of gaffer tape to stabilize the cable to the camera. Do not use duct tape. It will leave a sticky residue on your camera. If you don't have any gaffer tape, then I suggest you get some. I'll leave a link below in the description for some. You'll find a million uses for it around the house. For a power source, I connected the USB cable into my power bank. In their instructions, Raceup recommends using a 2 to 4 amp power bank, with a 3 amp being the best. But I had no problem powering my camera with a 2.1 amp power bank. Using a power bank will give you the same power as 5 regular camera batteries. So that's more than enough power in a fully charged power bank for video, live streaming, or time lapses. Just for comparison, the milliamp rating on the Canon LP12 stock battery is 875 milliamp hours, while the power bank that I was using is rated at 10,000 milliamp hours. To hold the power bank, I used a Ulanzi phone mount, a swivel adapter, and a clamp to clamp it to a tripod leg. Since the Ulanzi has a 1/4 inch thread on the bottom, you could also mount it to a hot shoe adapter like this. And mount it on your camera or camera cage. Most power banks are slim enough that almost any phone mount would work. This Raceup DC coupler or dummy battery and USB cable are designed specifically to work with the Canon M50 or any Canon camera that uses a Canon LP12 battery. But no matter what kind of camera you have, I would suggest that you look for an alternative, a safe, reliable, and affordable alternative to buying a bunch of camera batteries. In the long run, it'll save you money and time. In addition to using a power bank with this dummy battery and USB cable, there's also the possibility of using Sony NP-type batteries or even a V-mount battery to use with this dummy battery and cable to power your camera. If you'd like to know more about this in a future video, let me know in the comments below if that's something you're interested in. Thanks for watching, stay safe, we'll see you in the next one.